this round. I'm going to quickly touch on, this is what we want to, this is what I've brought you on. You've worked with a lot of these players. You've played against a lot of these players. You've played with a lot of these players. So I'm going to we'll stay on the X Factor part, okay? And what everyone thinks is X Factor is your backline players, your back three players. And this is something that your whole career is wing, fullback, is really honed in on those positions. South Africa, and if you can nail it down to the Western Cape, the depth in the back three position. Those guys have obviously now gone out to different parts of the world. We're talking URC, we're talking guys like Kurtley Arendse, Caden Moody, Edward van der Merwe, Reinu Smith now even. All these guys, and these guys are just all coming from the Western Cape. Then you're looking at someone like Cheslin Colby as well. Why do you think that is? Do you think it is come down to coaching? Is there a natural flair that comes out of it? Is it because how the boys are coached at school? And then I'd like to have your insight on that, but then also when a fullback catches the ball, when a winger is catching the ball, what are they first looking at? What are we doing? How are these guys just always running through holes? Like it doesn't just come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? There's a process to it.
I think in Cape Town, and I mean you would agree with me as well. We've been playing majority of boys in Cape Town. Have been playing rugby in the street or on the park or wherever you get an opportunity. You know, when you used to go to a club game, maybe your dad takes you to a club game. You're not keenly interested in what's happening on the field. You are so in tune with what's happening behind the poles because there's a little mini game that's happening behind. And I just think the exposure to rugby all the time, every single Saturday, it's like a religion. And I think it's around South Africa, it's exactly the same. We fall in love with the sport and we just want to play the game. And I think that's where the fun and the naturalness comes into play, where a guy develops his skill and ability from a very young age. Once he gets to a professional setup or a semi-professional setup, it's all about how you guide that skill set, you know, and how you nurture that talent and polish that diamond. But that natural ability is always there. Like, I mean, all the players you've just mentioned, I mean, and there's still heaps of them that's in Cape Town that have played Craven Week this year, the provincial tournament for schools, that have played SA schools this year. I mean, it's never ending, the amount of talent that South Africa has in terms of those positions, fullback, wings, guys with speed, with stepping ability. So that is evolved, that gets evolved and born from a really young age. And then, you know, it's a lot of other things that also plays a role. Once a guy gets to a professional setup, it's whether he gets a contract, whether he gets an opportunity to play on a platform, whether he gets seen, and also then injuries that comes along. So there's a few things that need to go your way in order to become a Rabs Maxwane, a Edward van der Merwe, all these type of players that we get the joy of watching on a Saturday on TV. But just on the X Factor spectrum, those are guys that, I mean, out of those guys you've just mentioned, it's probably just Edward that have received the opportunity to play for the Boks. Then it's Kainan, that's a regular, when he's not injured, that's obviously a regular selection in the squad of the Springboks. But then there's still Cheslin Colby, Kurtley Arendse, Makazola Mapimpi. You understand? Like, it's a never-ending list, which is really a blessing to see of where we are going towards. And then there's a lot of guys that's still going to come through the season, a lot of exciting talent that still needs to be nurtured and given the opportunity on the URC platform to develop into household names. And there's still a lot of them that's still there. I mean, you know, so like the Suleiman Hatzenbergs, Leolan Zas, those are two wingers of the Stormers currently that's really performing well and have been performing well. I mean, they probably lower in the picking order when it comes to the Boks, but I mean, they have the goods to play international rugby.